If you've been sensing that something in your life is quietly expiring, not dramatically, not chaotically, but clearly. If you've been feeling less interested in performing and more interested in living in truth. If you know you cannot carry old identities into this next season, then you are exactly where you need to be. Welcome to the Lunar Lounge, where astrology meets alchemy, where the celestial becomes practical, and where we align with timing greater than our own. I'm Bashia Imana, the alchemist, here with my celestial sister, Diana Vanessa, astrologer, guide, and keeper of the cosmic map. Together, we help you understand what the sky is signaling, not to predict your life, but to help you move through it with awareness, clarity, and intention. Wherever you are right now, pause. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, let your breath settle. You do not need to prove anything right now. You only need to see clearly and move wisely. Let's begin.
Welcome to the Lunar Lounge, where the night slows down for you. Celestial rhythms moving, every breath aligns the truth. Astrology meets alchemy. Stars whisper what to do. Come sit beneath the moonlight, let the magic carry you. Lighting with the stars, lighting with the stars, the moon magic.
Lunar Lounge. All right, and welcome back. On Tuesday, February 17th at 7:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are entering a solar eclipse in Aquarius at the beginning of a lunar new year. And y'all, this is not just a new moon. This is a recalibration. This is architectural. Eclipses don't ask if you're ready. They mark a turning point. They begin cycles that unfold over months, sometimes years. And this one opens a new storyline around identity and community, personal expression and collective responsibility, ego and purpose. Aquarius is not concerned with applause. It's concerned with alignment. This new moon may bring clarity around roles that have quietly expired, communities that no longer fit, systems that cannot hold the future you are stepping into. This is not about rebellion. It is about honest repositioning. We are also entering a lunar new year, a natural reset woven into creation itself. Long before modern calendars, our ancestors followed the moon, not to be mystical, but to be aligned. The new moon marked renewal, preparation, and intentional direction. So tonight, we're doing the same. This is our threshold. Not to rush forward, not to force clarity, but to see clearly, to release what has completed its cycle, to realign with authentic belonging, to build systems that can actually hold your next level. If you like what you're hearing so far, we're going to just ask you really quick to go ahead and maybe leave a comment, and definitely subscribe to our channel. Diana, the astrologer in this duo, what's happening in the stars?
Hi, Bashia. Happy new moon in Aquarius. Happy solar eclipse in Aquarius. So you and I were together yesterday speaking at our new moon sister circle, at Spiritual Essence Yoga in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And thank you for introducing me to that space. It's beautiful. I look forward to going back there. And it was also a pleasure to meet Dana Smith, the owner of the yoga studio, and some of her colleagues. I hope you're posting your new moon workbook that you shared with our group yesterday in the chat for anyone who's interested, because I thought it did a really good job of laying out the astrology behind the new moon. I also thought it did a really good job giving us some background behind the upcoming eclipse season and the Leo and Aquarius axis of our birth charts. And so I encourage everyone who is listening, if you haven't already purchased a copy of Bashia's workbook, please pick it up. I think it's a great reflection tool. I think if you're interested in learning how to work with astrology, this is a great tool to have.
Diana, first, let me thank you. If I'm the spirit of the circle, you are truly the heart. The way you take what's happening in the charts and make it clear, real, applicable, and life-changing is such a gift. You don't just explain astrology. You translate it into lived experience. You bring knowledge, wisdom, and so much passion to every reading. And it deepens the space in a way that truly matters. And your newsletters and personal readings, girl, they get me right. And I've seen so much in my life, and those who come into our in-person circles change as a result of working with you. I also want to take a moment to honor Dana, the owner of Spiritual Essence Yoga and Wellness. Dana and her space are gems. The moment you walk in, you can feel it. Tranquil, intentional, filled with love. Everything is curated with care. And Dana herself, her knowledge of the healing arts and its many facets is so expansive. At Spiritual Essence, you have yoga, Thai massage, Reiki, teacher training, and that list goes on and on and on. You can go get your stones and everything you need there. And so if any of our listeners out there are looking for a space to deepen their healing work or even get certified in yoga or other healing modalities, this is by far one of the most aligned spaces you can choose. I could honestly spend the entire show just talking about the depth of her work and how wonderful Spiritual Essence Yoga and Wellness is. Now, yesterday in that room, in our new moon circle, there was an energy. It was a feeling of women who have been pretending for a long time, wearing masks that made them acceptable, strong, agreeable, manageable. And there was this readiness in the room. I know you felt it. You know, that readiness was a readiness to take the mask off, a readiness to bring to the surface what has been held inside, and in many cases held down for a very long time. And that's the energy of this new moon. It's not loud, it's revealing, and you could feel that something in that room was ready to exhale.
Yesterday, you presented such a dynamic session for all of us that featured sound bath healing, which I felt like I was transported to a temple somewhere far away. It was so wonderful.
Dana's magic.
And in that meeting, you spoke to how you started New Moon Sister Circles in your 20s. And what struck me was, as I was listening to you, I was thinking about your Leo placement. And I was thinking about what you said about how you were looking for sisterhood at a time when you really needed it. You had the courage to gather your friends together and start a community of sisters, to gather together and look at ways to work with the moon, to plot your lives, to be aware of the season that we're in. And you brought that back several years ago, and that's why we're here today.
It didn't feel courageous at the time when me and the sisters started the New Moon Circles. It felt necessary. there are moments when your spirit just knows doing it alone is not going to work. It's not our way. And that's the seed that grows community. And in that case back then and now, sisterhood.
The entire story, Bashir, to me, of how you first initially started New Moon Sister Circles, how you identified a need that you had to be in community with people with related interests, to be with a woman who you felt like you could trust and who you could bond with. And then to bring that back. And what I saw and what I spoke to yesterday was how your open-heartedness, your Leo, your courage, your desire to keep us in close community is really what has led to the group gathering that we saw yesterday. What I saw in the space was a beautiful, diverse group of women who all were there with different spiritual backgrounds, different family dynamics, different socioeconomic dynamics. And we were all in the space looking for essentially the same things.
But you know what? Underneath all of those differences, there was this shared intention, and you could feel it in the room.
For me, I love going to these sister circles because one of the things I get from there, this wonderful opportunity to ground into my body, to reclaim my authority, to get peace, to have a little bit of a break. And if it weren't for me taking a leap of faith, really like deciding, okay, I'm going to take part, I'm going to participate in this, even though it felt uncomfortable to me in several ways, because I did feel different. I did feel like an outsider. I wasn't part of the larger community, but at the same token, I feel like I'm very much a part of it. So that's, to me, just speaks to the theme of one of the main themes I'm seeing from this Aquarius new moon. As I was listening to the women who were gathered yesterday, we both heard the women time and time again echoing this idea that we are looking around and we are seeing where we want to be linked up. Who do we want to be connected to? Who shares the kind of interests that we share? And how can we stand in our own authenticity, our originality, and who we are in the midst of a group like that?
I remember you sharing that, and that's real. Belonging isn't always instant. Sometimes you walk into a space and the first thing you feel is the difference. You quietly ask yourself, do I fit here? Is it safe for me to fully be myself here? And then, if the space is aligned, and you know when it's aligned because you can feel it, something softens, the body relaxes, the breath deepens, and you realize you do not have to shrink to stay. And that's really the intention of the spaces that we create.
Another thing I'm seeing is, how do I hold space to be in relationships with people? Or how do I hold space for my loved ones or other people who it may seem like they live in a different reality than I do?
Mm-hmm.
Collectively, I see this new moon as a breaking free, a breakthrough, people finally making decisions to change really significant aspects of their lives based on what I would call value tests over the last several years. And those value tests really have been like, who are my people? Like, do we speak the same language? Are we trying to achieve the same things? Are we on the same level when it comes to this thing that we're trying to do? And I don't mean levels in like the, stratosphere, like a pyramid sense, but I mean levels like, are we on the same page?
What I feel moving through people right now is reflective, and it's not personal, it's collective. This new moon is asking us to examine where we fit in within the larger whole, not from insecurity, not from ego, but from purpose. Community matters. Collective dynamics matter. We are not meant to do this life alone. But Aquarius reminds us that belonging must be authentic, not performative. It's the difference between being included and actually being aligned, between showing up with a mask and showing up as yourself. This energy asks us to clarify our roles in the collective. Where do I contribute naturally? Where does my individuality serve something greater than me? Where am I shrinking just to stay connected? This isn't about burning everything down. It's about recognizing what has quietly run its course. You may notice roles that no longer feel honest, communities that once fit but now feel misaligned, group dynamics shifting without conflict, just clarity. Versions of yourself you've already outgrown. And beneath all of it is one powerful question. Where have I stayed loyal to something that no longer reflects who I am becoming? And what would authentic belonging require of me now?
And that's so important because community, as we know, with Pluto and Aquarius right now is essential. So the power is with the people. And our energetic power relies in our ability to be in community, in collaboration with people who are aligned. So one of the things I loved yesterday is you talked about the alignment and how that piece of it is important. And it's okay if we're not aligned with the same people anymore, right? The season we're going in with Saturn and Neptune in Aries has been associated with very different ideological beliefs, spiritual beliefs that are different. So there are folks out there who, don't think astrology is legit. Okay, that's fine. Enjoy your life. Do your own thing. As long as you give me peace in how I practice and what I believe, I will do the same for you. And so that is already happening. Folks are saying, listen, I don't believe this anymore. I like what so-and-so is talking about over here. And I wish everyone the most when it comes to discernment, when it comes to who we are aligning ourselves with. I also hope that we're giving each other grace, understanding that we're all moving through different circumstances, and that we don't really move too much on impulse right now. And what I mean by that is because folks are already feeling the Aries influence. People are going to want to move quickly. People are moving quickly. Okay, what else do I want to talk about here? So I used your workbook, and this is what I'm using as the outline to just walk us through the points that are important for you, the listener, need to hone in on. And remember, please pick up this notebook. So the new moon is on Tuesday, February the 17th. It's taking place at approximately 7:01 a.m. Eastern Time. Please check for your time zone. So this is a new moon. This is where we are listening to the feedback that we've received over the last few months and making decisions and feeling out for what it is we need to release. And then also seeding new intentions. So this is a good time for us to start new practices. The symbolism behind this new moon is strongly, strongly, strongly creative. The symbolism behind this new moon includes the birthing process, giving form to new creations. Over the next several weeks, I want you to pay attention, if you haven't noticed this already, to Aquarius themes that are getting a little louder and brighter. They may involve community and collective dynamics. How do I show up in community? How do I stay myself? How do I make sure I don't end up in a cult or another group that, really sucks my individual life force out of me? I'm saying that because it's real. How do we belong authentically instead of just performatively? And there's a lot of emphasis around freedom and liberation from existing long-term systems that are not stable. So this new moon is a super new moon because it is also happening in connection with an eclipse, okay? And eclipses are like supersized new moons or full moons, depending on if it's a solar sun or a lunar moon eclipse. And this is a solar eclipse, which is associated with, on a larger macro level, new beginnings for leaders. Yesterday, we talked about the eclipses are fuck around and find out energy. So to the extent we've been holding on to things that we need to release in order to propel us over the next 6 to 24 months, we're going to really be seeing how this Aquarius Leo is playing out for us. You will notice things happening in our lives or the lives of the people around us that may seem like really big. But what's happening in a lot of cases is that we are seeing the physical manifestation or result of eclipse activity that's taking place. And it's meant to shake us out, liberate us, move us out of situations that have long reached their expiration date, things that need to end. Those are one of the ways to look at them. So, for example, if you are in a community, if you're in a friendship group and you've been going through issues with that friend group for quite some time, and the universe has been nudging you to make a change in that friend group dynamic, it is very likely that you will see something significantly shift in that friendship dynamic. All right. Another example, common example with the current influence of the planets where they are is if you've been stuck in a really insecure financial situation and haven't really made significant changes to move that, you may notice that things get a little tighter to force you to look at things with a little bit more of an innovative eye. You mentioned that in your workbook. I wanted to call to that. So if there's been a sense of false stability, anything that's not secure is likely to be destabilized or to fall in some way. And that's just an overall recurring theme in general. So as we continue to move through what's really some fast-moving energy, especially towards the end of this month on February 20th, when Saturn and Neptune join together in what's called a conjunction. The last time we saw like the most literal vestige of this was in 1989 when the Berlin Wall fell, and that was at a time when Saturn and Neptune had come together in a conjunction in the sign of Capricorn. So now they're doing the same thing on February 20th in the sign of Aries. And so just watch for the things that fall away and the things that are forming in their place. This is, again, big emphasis on new beginning energy. One of the things I've noticed with friends and family and clients is that the Saturn and Neptune and Pisces, where everyone was sort of drifting around a little bit, waiting on things to sort of happen. Now there is less emphasis on waiting and more emphasis on doing and action. People are ready to move. And that includes you. The advice for this new moon, I love the advice that you provided in the workbook. You mentioned things like auditing your communities, which is what we are all doing to different extents now. Renegotiating where we belong. Yes. Releasing outdated rules, reframing how we contribute to group dynamics, and allowing systems to evolve. You mentioned as a what not to do that caught my eye, not burning bridges impulsively. I would be surprised if we don't see a lot of that happening. I think it's sound advice. I also want people to pay attention to if they see a lot of what seems like spontaneous ruptures. It's an indication of this energy playing out in the sky. If I had to add anything to what to do with this new moon advice that you've given, is to just pay attention to what's happening in our bodies. Aquarius is air, it's fixed air. So air signs are associated with communication, messages, relating, ideas, sharing, and networking. And Aquarius is associated with the ankles, the lower part of the legs, the calves, and the circulatory system, our blood, movement, distribution through our body. So pay attention to whether you have seen any indications of disruptions with that, because if you are aware of your body and working with the moon cycle, anything coming up for you related to those areas of the body is an indication that you need to take a look at something in the Aquarius part of your birth chart. Your body is giving you the indicator, because our bodies are meters, that something needs to get checked out. So if you have any questions or you're feeling palpably this Aquarius new moon, this solar eclipse energy. The link to book a reading with me is in the show notes. Another thing I think that's helpful to know is that Mercury and Venus are both in Pisces right now. Mercury, the way we communicate, and Venus, how we love and find cohesion, are both in Pisces while all this is happening. So that's water energy, that's water that's available to us to help ground some of the very airy Aquarius and the very fiery Saturn and Neptune that's in the air right now. So I think that besides grounding into our body, using water as an element to ground is important.
Diana, I'm so happy you brought water in as medicine for this moment. We're in winter, the season of water in traditional Chinese medicine. And water governs the kidneys, our reserves, our will, and our nervous system. It teaches us restoration, not reaction. Again, let me say that again. It teaches us restoration, not reaction, depth, not drama. And with all this air and fire energy, ideas, movement, disruption, action, water reminds us to slow down, replenish, and listen beneath the surface. Healing right now is not about pushing. It's about conserving energy, protecting your life force, and moving from a place of inner steadiness. When we honor water in winter, when we honor water in this new moon and this solar eclipse, we restore balance. When we restore balance, that's when the clarity returns. And of course, when clarity returns, we move wisely, not impulsively. Diana, Mercury is in Pisces. Tell us a little bit more about that.
When Mercury is in Pisces, our messages and communications don't tend to be linear or logical. Pisces is a very poetic and flowy expression of Mercury. So if communication is a challenge for you right now, just know that it's a challenge for everyone else too in different ways, and give grace to that if you can. Another thing that's important for you to know is that Venus loves to be here. So with Venus in Pisces, use the creative potential. Focus on what matters to you right now. This is a time to be resting, clearing out, and it's also a great time to be working on your vision and your plan. So create with that.
Good stuff, Diana, Vanessa. Work your vision and your plan. These are things that we've been talking about since January, since the beginning of 2026. We have the awareness, we've created the plan. Now it's time for that agency. So let's go ahead and get ready to get into a very short guided visualization meditation. I want to invite you to sit comfortably, lengthen through your spine. Go ahead and relax your shoulders and soften your face. And if it feels comfortable for you, gently close your eyes or take them to a soft gaze. And now let's take an intentional slow inhale through your nose. Hold the breath at the top. And an even longer exhale through your mouth. Beautiful. And let's do it again. Deep inhale through your nose. And a long exhale out your mouth. Let your breathing settle. This is a reset. Imagine yourself standing at a quiet threshold. Behind you is the version of life you have been living. Roles, expectations, patterns, commitments. And some of it still fits. And some of it does not. You do not need to judge it. Just notice. What feels complete? Let the answer rise gently. No drama, just truth. Now imagine cool, clear air moving through your mind. It clears pressure. It clears noise. It clears the need to explain yourself. Ask yourself quietly, if my life were fully aligned, what would it feel like? What would it look like? Pause. Notice the feeling before you search for the plan. Clarity begins in the body. Does it feel lighter, steadier, more spacious? Breathe that feeling in. Nice. Now bring awareness to your feet. Feel the ground. You are not here to react. You are here to reposition. Ask, where am I being invited to move differently? It may be subtle. A boundary, a release, a new standard. You do not need to act today, tonight. You only need to see clearly. Now, imagine a small golden flame resting at your heart, the flame of truth. I invite you to ask yourself, is what I am building in right relationship with who I am becoming? If something feels heavy, it is asking for refinement. Inhale. Let integrity settle into your chest. Exhale. Release what is familiar but no longer aligned. Now, take 3 steady breaths. Inhale clarity. Exhale release. Inhale alignment. And exhale pressure. Inhale liberation. And exhale pretending. Good. And when you're ready, gently coming back into the room, maybe wiggling your fingers, your toes, rotating your wrists and ankles. And then, ever so gently, open your eyes. This new moon is not about becoming someone else. It's about standing in truth and moving wisely from there. As we close, we want to thank you for spending this new moon with us. These conversations are here to support your growth, not just intellectually, but practically, spiritually, and in your real life. If this episode resonated with you, please like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and share it with someone who needs this message. You can order my New Moon in Aquarius workbook in the description link below and move through the reflections at your own pace. It's designed to help you shift from awareness into aligned action. If you'd like to go deeper, listen to the extended guided meditation on my YouTube channel, the Umoya Well, that's Umoya. And if you're a business leader, entrepreneur, or visionary building something meaningful this season, explore my Leading from the Center meditations, created to help you lead with clarity, grounded service, and steady authority. You can find me on Instagram at the Umoya Well, on YouTube and Facebook at the Umoya Well, that's spelled Umoya, or you can email me directly at the@umoyawell.com. If you are feeling the call for personal insight, book a one-on-one reading with Diana at dianavanessa.com. I am telling you, you will thank me. It is by far the best. You can follow her on Instagram and Threads at DianaVanessa_MBA. Subscribe to her YouTube channel at youtube.com/DianaVanessa_MBA, and join her newsletter for timely astrological insight. You can also reach her directly at dianavanessa.com. Now, if you're in the DC metropolitan area, I got to give you all the goods. We would love to see you in person. Join us live for our next New Moon Circle on March 15th. There is something powerful about gathering in this sacred space together. And for an exceptional sound bath, yoga class, or healing arts training, please visit Spiritual Essence Yoga and Wellness in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. This space is intentional, welcoming, and deeply, deeply restorative. Learn more or book a class at www.spiritualessenceyoga.com. Again, that is spiritualessenceyoga.com, and truly consider making it your yoga home.
And with that being said, have a beautiful, peaceful new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius.
Move with clarity, lead with integrity, belong without losing yourself. Peace.